Tell us a little bit about what life was like before you came to MVF.
Honestly, there were two lives, because I've struggled with addiction to sex and pornography and struggled with unwanted same-sex desire since I was a child. And growing up in a situation, unfortunately, in the church where that was not safe to talk about. So honestly, from the time I was about 7 years old to the time I was 27 years old, it felt like I was living two lives. Because there was this side of me that I could not talk about and I had to keep secret. And then there was the side of me that was who I wanted to be, trying to be the Christian person that I wanted to be. So when I came to Mid-Valley Fellowship, I came reluctantly. The Lord had basically given me an ultimatum. He challenged my obedience to him because I had known for some time that I had an addiction that needed to be surrendered, and I didn't want to give it up. I was not ready. I could not imagine a life without it. Like I said, my addiction started when I was 7 years old or so I literally had no idea what life without that looked like. And God challenged me and he said, if you don't obey me in this, I've given you plenty of time to surrender it to me. I'm gonna have to do something because he's a faithful and loving father, and fathers have to do that sometimes. So I actually had a counselor who had counseled me through a really dark season of depression, and I came to her and I told her that it was time for me to deal with my addiction, and she sent me to Mid-Valley Fellowship, to Dwan specifically, because of what she knew of my past, and she knew that Dwan would be able to help me. So she sent me there because I said I was ready, and I came reluctantly, and I scheduled my first appointment out like a month, I think, and then I canceled my second appointment twice and rescheduled my third appointment a couple of times, I think.
What did you encounter? What did you experience when you came?
I encountered honesty. Remember that I had lived 2/3 of my life essentially in secrecy. And I came to Mid-Valley thinking that I was worse than every other Christian I knew, and that I knew that other people struggled with these things, but clearly something in me was broken that was only me. And I came to Mid-Valley Fellowship and I encountered honesty in myself for the first time. And I encountered honesty from others, and I don't know, just that first night in group, when the other gentlemen in my small group were sharing their stories, when you shared your story, and all of a sudden it clicked, and you would have think it clicked a long time ago, but it clicked. I'm not somehow less of a human being than anybody else.
Was there anything that surprised you or that was unexpected that happened? I mean, maybe a few things, but...
I don't think this was one of the questions we prepared.
I'm not sure if it was or not either.
So that's one. Yeah, a couple of things. One, going back to just the realization that I was not the only one who struggled with these wounds and addictions, and realizing that there's a lot of us actually out there living two lives and thinking that we can't show our true self to people. And that was still a miracle in my mind. The second most unexpected thing was that I came here because God told me to come here, because it was time that I finally surrendered an addiction, and I just wanted to deal with that and move on. And now I'm here as an intern. But the reason that I came here for this internship, the reason that I'm staying a part of MVF, is because God has placed a calling on me, a burden for other men living lives right now thinking that they're alone, that no one can understand them, no one is safe to talk to. And so God has pretty well made it clear that he's designed me for this ministry, and that my story is meant to be used to help bring other men out of the darkness and into the light. I don't think I can say it enough. Like, you are not alone. most of my life, although I never put it into words until the last couple of years, I believed that there was a wrongness. Like somehow I was a factory defect who made it through the quality check process and was out there in the world just trying to convince everybody that I wasn't made wrong. And God didn't make me wrong because he doesn't make anything wrong. And so if there's anybody who thinks that they're alone, that they can't share their struggles because it's not safe to, it is safe, at least with the people in this room. I'm not saying it's safe everywhere, but it's safe in the community of God. And you are not worse than everybody around you. God made you intentionally, and he loves you enough to save you out of that brokenness.